This is a second stimulus check update. There's a lot of important news regarding stimulus. There's a new $2,000 a month stimulus check push that just came out yesterday. President Trump is saying that he's able to convince the Republicans to go with the new $1.8 trillion stimulus package, which includes $1,200 stimulus checks. Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin spoke on the phone for several hours over the last few days, and Nancy Pelosi gave a 48-hour deadline, which is going to change the timeline of when we could expect stimulus checks. And then Mitch McConnell announced we're going to have two separate stimulus package votes over the next 2 days, which he expects to pass. I'll give you all the details of that in this video. Before we get started, just want to let you know I'm giving more cash to my subscribers, and I'll give details on that later on in the video. I hope you're having a great day so far. Let's get into it. So Ed Markey, who is one of the three founders of the $2,000 a month stimulus check proposal, including Bernie Sanders and Kamala Harris, who's now the vice president candidate, is giving another push for the $2,000 a month stimulus checks. As much as we want $2,000 a month stimulus checks, it's not going to happen, so I don't want to get your hopes up with that. Just wanted to get that out of the way. I'll let you know what Ed Markey said. He said, in the 7 months since this pandemic began, Americans have received a single payment of $1,200. Every day that passes where we fail to provide direct recurring cash payments is another day that more and more families struggle to make rent and put food on the table. Just to remind you, Canada had the $2,000 a month stimulus check program, which was $1,400 US dollars converted, but still for 4 months they had that $1,400 per month, and it's just a shame that over the past 5 months we only received one stimulus check, which I think is ridiculous. President Trump had an interview yesterday and was asked about stimulus, and he said that he could take care of the problem in 2 minutes. Let me play this quick clip for you.
I don't think she wants to approve it anyway. I think even if we gave her the money for the poorly run Democrat states, I don't think she'd approve it anyway.
But aren't you getting pushback from Senate Republican leaders?
I will take care of that problem in 2 minutes.
So do you think we can have a deal before Election Day?
Look, if I had something that would be good, I think I could quickly convince the Republicans to do it. They're ready to do it. But Nancy Pelosi does not want to do it.
President Trump has continuously said that he will be able to convince the Senate Republicans to go with the $1.8 trillion White House plan, which gives out $1,200 stimulus checks and $1,000 stimulus checks to dependents. Unfortunately, President Trump is not in a position where he has power in the negotiation. Nancy Pelosi holds all the power, all the leverage, which is why he's blaming Nancy Pelosi in this moment. But at the same time, Senate Republicans are acting on their own agenda, independent of President Trump. Even though President Trump is the leader of the Republicans, he has no control over Senate Republicans. And Mitch McConnell and other Senate Republicans said that they will not go for that $1.8 trillion stimulus package, regardless of what President Trump is saying. Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin have been speaking on the phone for several hours over the last few days. Over the weekend, before that, it's either an hour to 90 minutes per day that they're speaking on the phone. And Nancy Pelosi set a 48-hour deadline to approve a stimulus in order to have stimulus go out before the election. More specifically, what she said about that 48-hour deadline: the 48 only relates to if we want to get it done before the election, which we do. But we're saying to them, we have to freeze the design on some of these things. Are we going with it or not? And what is the language? So the language she's referring to is the COVID testing and tracing language. Supposedly they agreed on something, but yet on Steve Mnuchin's side, he did not provide the language or change the language by 55%, which altered it completely and therefore holding up the stimulus negotiations more. So with this 48-hour deadline in place, if we don't have a stimulus by tomorrow night, negotiation agreement, then we will probably not get a stimulus by the election. But if it's after the election, I don't know if there'll still be urgency. Let me know down in the comments below if the politicians will feel the urgency to pass a stimulus after the election. Obviously, as Americans, we want it to happen, but politicians are running their own game. Mitch McConnell, independent of Nancy Pelosi, Steve Mnuchin, President Trump, all of them announced that he will have stimulus votes on Tuesday and Wednesday, which is going to be a stimulus package vote. Nothing to do with stimulus checks, unfortunately, which is bad news in my opinion. What he said is Republicans do not agree that nothing is better than something for working families. The American people need Democrats to stop blocking bipartisan funding and let us replenish the PPP before Americans lose their jobs needlessly. So Mitch McConnell's plan is on Tuesday, he's going to have a vote to pass more of the CARES Act money that didn't go out yet. Then on Wednesday, he plans on passing the $500 billion skinny stimulus proposal, which does not have stimulus checks. It does have PPP money. It does have around $100 billion for schools, COVID testing, among a few other things, but it does not have stimulus checks. So far, up until this point, Republicans have continuously said they do not support stimulus checks or anything in the $1 trillion or higher range. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of the Democrats is saying that Mitch McConnell's vote for the skinny stimulus of $500 billion without stimulus checks is calling it a stunt. So more specifically, what Chuck Schumer is saying is that the $500 billion stimulus bill is inadequate and just up and down the line a sham. It's a stunt by Senator Mitch McConnell, basically saying that under the $500 billion bill is not going to bring any relief to the American people, and saying that Mitch McConnell just wanted to tie a knot because of the divisions in his own caucus, basically referring to Senate Republicans fighting amongst each other. Some were for stimulus, some were absolutely not for any stimulus whatsoever, and saying that the number one reason there's no agreement is because of the Senate Republicans, as they won't go along even with what President Trump is willing to do, which is true. A lot of them have criticized President Trump's $1.8 trillion stimulus package, so if they're not going to even go for President Trump's, their own Republican leader of a $1.8 trillion stimulus package, they're not going to go for anything else, including what the Democrats and Nancy Pelosi are proposing. Mitch McConnell responded, that's where the administration is willing to go. He said, my members think $500 billion highly targeted is the best way to go. So Mitch McConnell having this vote on Tuesday and Wednesday most likely won't pass because he needs 60 votes, which means some Democrats will have to vote for this. It's possible, but not likely. Even if it passes in the Senate, it most likely will not pass in the House. Therefore, it's going to be something that the Republicans are going to say that the Democrats blocked. Look, we tried to pass stimulus right before the election, but the Democrats blocked it. That's going to be the narrative, and continue the political pointing fingers and blame game. And that is all the stimulus news I have for you today. Now I'll take a moment and talk about how I'm giving more cash to my subscribers. So first, I just want to thank you so much for all your support, and I want to show my appreciation and give cash back to the Wise Flies community. So in order to get cash, there's just 3 things you need to do. First, just subscribe to this channel as well as my 2 other channels, which is Wise Vibes and Wise Sense. Wise Vibes is about motivation and inspiration. Wise Sense is a personal finance channel that teaches you wise money tips to build a wealthy future. Once you subscribe to all these channels, then you just comment down below on this video that you're watching right now. Just say a joke. I feel like it's a good idea to just lighten the mood a little bit. Tell a joke down below, but just put the word joke and then say whatever joke you want, and then I'll find your comment randomly. I have more details written down in the description below about this. And here is my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, I'm going to give you the 5 positive tips to make you start your day and make you be positive and grateful as much as you can. So first, stay happy, stay strong, and have good vibes, and do great to others when they do great to you. And also, you know this one, be nice to others when you be nice to them. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. It means a lot to me that you're part of the Wise Flies community. If you want to learn how you could be the most productive you could be, accomplish big goals in a short amount of time, I highly recommend clicking this video over here. It's on my Wise Vibes channel, 10 ways to be the most productive you could be. So click that video now, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.